Hey people, I've been reading about the Nephilim, and it only comes up 3 times, and actually it's just in 2 lines. Twice it comes up in this one line in Numbers 13:33, and it's spelled different. They add an I here. But this word only comes up 3 times in the Bible. It's just in 2 different places. In this Genesis 6:4 in the story of Noah, and then this Numbers 13:33 when the Hebrews were walking through the desert and the spies ran upon the Nephilim, giant sons of Anak. But I want to start with something that I learned, and it shows why so many people fall for the King James story. I was looking here at my like ratio, and only got 2 likes on this last movie, and I thought it was the best movie I ever made. I slowed down and I read the lines real plainly where everybody could understand it. But the thing is, what it said isn't what people wanted to hear. And I don't care. I don't care if I'm liked. I want to be known for speaking the truth. And this is why so many people fall for the King James story. It's what they want to hear. Several years ago there were many truthers on YouTube, and they used to show a dislike, so you could see the ratio, but they don't show the number now. And I noticed that there was people that were putting out truths, and people would look at this and they didn't know, to hit the like because I'm glad that you put out that information, or the dislike because that's not a good thing, even though it's true and we needed to hear it. Somebody's talking about the president molesting children, and nobody wants to hit the like because they don't like that. Back then, the algorithm would put out your video. The more people watched it and liked it, the more it would show up. And people didn't understand that, and so they would hit the dislike because they didn't like the information, and that would keep the information from being spread. So all the channels that I used to watch are gone now. They had to move to other platforms. Either that or they changed and they started saying what YouTube wanted them to say. And some of them learned to put their channel under comedy so they could get away with saying things. So what I'm saying is, I'm just trying to read what's on the page. I don't give a damn whether you like it or not. It's what it says. And if I wanted to be liked, I would twist what I'm reading, because I know most people don't understand this. But that's my main purpose, is to show people that it was our ancestors were reading this not long ago, and it's in ancient English. It's full of information that government and religion don't want you to know because it's how they use people. But the one that really irks me the most is, the lamb. That religion that people think it's good to be a sheep. And I showed about 3-4 movies ago, what it means to be a lamb in Isaac and the Lamb. But, a lamb is food. Being a lamb is just feeding the thing that you hate so much. The main reason people can't get it, they can't believe the conspiracy could be that big. And years ago, I used to investigate all the mass shootings around the world, and I showed much evidence that it was staged. YouTube had erased all my movies. They took them all down. And so I remade this one, and I put it here on BitChute. I'll leave the link. And it's kind of slow. This was my old movie maker, my Windows movie maker. But I show links in here of where you can see for yourself where I got this information. And it's hard to dispute, because you could find the facts. You could Google Earth and see the pictures and see that this is exactly what it was. And you could see the timestamp on when the videos were posted where I got the information. And I used to have to search the dark web. I don't even know how to do it anymore. But I used to have to search the dark web to find this. And you can still find some of it. But when you try to go to these actual videos, I'm glad I saved them on there, that, they're going to refuse to connect. But these videos show just how big the conspiracy is, and all the churches have sold out too. And so I'll leave this link down here in the comment if you want to watch this movie. but it's undeniable proof of my accusations. So when you see these mass murders on TV and you ask, how could somebody do that? Slow on down. It's how could somebody do that with a smile on their face? And it used to be a lot easier to investigate those things, but Google's tied in now and they instantly block anything that they're not putting out. So let me read on this some now. This is said to be after Moses brought the Hebrews out of Egypt and they walked through the desert, and they was complaining because he brought them up to these giants and they thought they were going to be eaten like grasshoppers. But if you look at the line before it in 32, they're still in Egypt. The people are Ham. The Ham assure a reign of took. The people of Ham took reign. They're still in Egypt. And if you believe in these Nephilim giants, if you believe that these people are actually digging up these giants, National Geographic, go ahead and hit the dislike and go away now, because you're not going to be able to understand this. In the age of everybody has a video camera on their phone, you won't find no videos of this. If you can think logically and you look into these pictures, you could see where they're all fakes. And I'm not saying that there were people 13 foot tall, but I guarantee you anybody who claims to have a skeleton over 13 foot tall, it's all fakes. And so you say, but why would the ancient priests lie to our people and make up this story about Nephilim giants? What would be their purpose? And the purpose is right here. And it's because of the boy Nino, the little boys. The priests have always been screwing little boys. And that's what this line says. So if you don't want to hear it, go away. But that's what I'm fixing to read, because that's what it says. And if you're paying attention and you can catch the anger in my voice, I'm mad at the sheep who have allowed this to go on this long. So I'm probably going to cut this off here and go get me a margarita before I come back and finish this.
A few moments later.
So my favorite girl was working the bar, so I'm about 4 shots of tequila in. So let me see if I can still read here. So just the letters, none of the markings. Wasum rain what in phylum, ben on femin in plium, when they boy Nino catch give 'em, a con they inu voying 'em. And so, was them, was 'em, the rain, R-A-I-N, the rain, the head of, and W-A-T, the head of what? The rain to at their place of rain. However you want to read this, the rain, W-A-T, the rain what? Or the rain to at the place that was in charge of, in, and then F-I-L-I-M, F-Y-L-I-M, phylum. And that's where your word pedophile come from. And what it means is who's running things, who's in charge. You have your life, your domain, the kingdom, and all the heads in that kingdom are the phylum. Kingdom of Animalia and the phylum of Chordata. And then all the classes and orders and suborders go under the phylum. Means the heads of the kingdom. Wasum rain what in phylum, been on femin, Q, F, the PH, the femin, in plium. They look a little feminine, and this is your Ankh, your O-N-Q. All the feminine rulers in Egypt told a Ankh. And it's only the kings and the rulers that have the Ankh. They dress in feathers and beads and really big hats. They wear the Indian style shoes and have 2 left hands. And down here we just call them homo. And homo, O-M-U, homo, that's a word that means, all the Pharaoh's people, the homos. You see when Moses calls his people, he used different words. Was them rain what in phylum, ben on femin in plium. That's why this is missing the I here. You see an extra I, the Y, the PY, FYLIM, the phylum. And here it's in plium, unfeminine plium. And when they, WN means connect the cycle, and the cycle is a cycle of time. It means when. And EY, the, THEY, they. And when they, not and we were, but we were at the time, or they were. When they, boy, BOY, and then Ninu. And that's just Spanish, your Latin word for a baby boy. And when they, or the baby boy, the boy Ninu, catch, give 'em, you can see it right here. Catch, KACH, GAVIM, gave 'em. When catch gave 'em, when catch give 'em. Little boys catch grasshopper. I guess where they're getting that out of there. But, when they, boy Nino, catch, gave 'em, a con, and this is a hyena, and voying, VOYNI, voying them, EM, them. That's where they're getting this there from this last EM is them. But, this is your word, hyena, and I know this because, this is where the base word comes from, Inu. Inu is the dog, where your word dog comes from, Inu, ancient word for dog, and con, and the connie, the dogs, and the connie, the hyena. And when they, boy Nino, when they're little boys, the catch, give 'em, to con the hyena, and voying them. The hyena's watching you. And so if you never tried to spell hyena before, that's it, the HYENA, the hyena. But it's ancient words for dog, coming from the Inu, the Khan and the Inu. Same old ancient word in Japan. You see a lot of words in Japan that are the same as Hebrew. And it's because they all come from the land of Mu that we're learning here in this book. But the Inu means the dog, canine, the canny. And so they were giving them, in the catch, give them to con, to trick them into, the con of the high Inu, the high dog, the hyena, in VOY and J, voying. The hyena is watching you in their sight. The hyena is watching you. And that's this ancient African folklore. And we know this because this map shows all the places you find hyenas, and you don't see none of them over here in Israel. They all come from Africa, India. And so they would tell the little boys, watch out because the hyena is watching you. They're commonly viewed as frightening and worthy of contempt. In some cultures, hyenas are thought to influence people's spirits, rob graves, and steal livestock and children. Watch out, the hyena gonna get you. Other cultures associate them with witchcraft, using their body parts in traditional African medicine. When they, boy Nino, when they little boys catch, give 'em to con hyena, and voying them. The hyenas, the catch, give 'em, the con, the hyenas watching them. And when you come back and read this, with the vowel points underneath, you see it's the WIKEN, the Wiccan, ancient word for the ones performing witchcraft, the Wiccan. And you see, this is the last line in here, and it is 30, 31, 32, and 33. So this is probably all part of one poem that all rhymes in here, talking about Egypt. Was'em rain what in phylum, ben on femin in plium. When they, boy Nino, catch, give 'em, a con they Inu, voyin 'em. So I ain't never believe in Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny or Jesus Christ dying on the cross for my sins. I don't believe anything that doesn't make sense. And that's why I investigate things that don't make sense. And I knew there was a reason people have been keeping this book survived this long, and that's why I'm investigating this book. And so if anybody knows a name, what you would call somebody that fits that description, somebody who doesn't believe what they're told just because they're told it, please leave it in the comments below. I'd like to extend my vocabulary with it. And I'll leave the link to this film on BitChute in the comment down there. And I might have to split it up. You might have to read the directions in front of it and remove something, because most best chances are they'll try to block it if I lay it down there full. Alright, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.